Morning, guys. Raptor Freak Alexiot's here after the end of the preseason games this week. Now we got 6 days before our first game of the regular season against Washington again, who we just came back and beat last night in a very impressive game. Honestly, that was a lot of fun. Once again, we are having fun watching Raptors right now because there's just really interesting things happening right now with the team as far as like trying it with each other and exploring just how good some of these guys are, because we have no idea how good Scotty Barnes is going to be. But from what I saw last night, he looks like an all-round player, like ready to do some big things in this league. I mean, we got a little bit of everything from Scotty in the first half. Uh, all right. There were two plays that I really liked in that game by Scotty Barnes that just blew me away. One of them was when he blocked Neto. That game, Neto beat him to the basket, but he's such a good talent, Scotty, that he recovered and he blocked the shot from behind him. And I think that was super impressive, Scotty Barnes doing that, and really funny too, treating Neto like that. And then the other play that was really impressive. Now, listen, y'all. Scotty Barnes in this preseason has been playing against big-time scorers. Like, he was guarding Jason Tatum the other day with Boston, and last night he was guarding Bradley Beal. And let's not get it twisted here. Washington had their best team out there pretty much, other than Hashimura not being there. And we had a lot of guys missing last night. I mean, we had pretty much our starters out last night. Fred, OG, Pascal, Chris Boucher. Yes, fun guy. I'm going to get to that. Good morning. Yes, they cut him this morning. That's sad, but true. I'm going to tell you, actually, the details with this are very interesting. They cut Perry and Gillespie this morning. So now they just have one big decision to make between three players to give that one spot. And apparently Perry can be on 905. Like, no problems. We cut him, and he's just going to show up to 905. Now, Gillespie, it's a little more complicated because apparently Memphis owns his 905, his G League rights. So we have to – I don't know if we'll get Gillespie on 905 after this. It is going to maybe be something where he ends up on another G League team this year. But, yes, the big news this morning is Freddie Gillespie got cut, and so did Reggie Perry. And, Sam Dekker last night really made a good case. Like yes, Paul. Good morning, Paul. Sam Dekker, that's what he needed to do. Like, he knew his career in the NBA was on the line and that he made it count. And being 7 for 10 from the field and shooting 4 for 5 from three-pointer or whatever he shot like that's really good. And honestly, Sam Dekker won that game for us. I know Malachi was a part of it, but you know what? Malachi didn't get going until Sam Dekker got going. And what he did was Dekker did a little play at the top of the key, if you remember, where he gave Malachi a little set screen, a little hedge screen. And Malachi hit that shot. And then after that, it was on. Those two guys couldn't miss. And they had all the Raptor points in the third quarter and part of the fourth. And that's really impressive that those two guys did that. But it's a symptomatic of how Washington's built. Washington is really big down low. And that Gafford guy is really scary. He's basically like DeAndre Ayton East right now. Washington's got DeAndre Ayton East with that Gafford guy because he's nasty. He is nasty. We're going to have to deal with him for years to come. And I'm not looking forward to that. Because Gafford looks like he's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem. Also, like I said, they were a team of big guys and shooters. And at some point, we figured out they're not really guarding our threes, but they're doing really well against us down low. So then the second half, it was all about those two shooters. And boy, did they put on a show. That was really a lot of fun to watch. Yeah, for 15th man, Dekker lighting it up. Was all you really wanted in the game. This is the thing. When we look at the guys who are fighting for these last roster spots, they each give us a different look as a roster as a whole because they kind of set the tone in a way. If we get Dekker, we get like a real good role player 3-point shooter off the bench. And, I'm all for that, especially if he can do what he did last night on a regular basis. I know he's not going to be able to shoot like that every time, but if he does that like every third time he comes out, hey, but if we get Bonga, we've doubled down on what we're doing already with the versatility and the length, and kind of just sets more of what we already have, which in a way is good, but is also kind of not as like, more roles on the team. So they each give a different look. And Wainwright, like I said, he's more like a 3-and-D, like Anthony Parker. And he played okay last night too. He hit a couple threes, and he played good defense. We played pretty good defense last night at times when we had to get back in the game. And Washington's a weird team, y'all. Like, they could be really good at some point, but I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen to them. I don't think they're ever going to get to the point where this team is good. And the reason why is because they're too mismatched in time. And that coach is horrible. I'm sorry. Wes Unseld was a Hall of Famer and a great player in the NBA, but his son, he's coaching that team right now, and he's not a good coach. Like, what happened last night showed that he's not a good coach. Like, he let us come back and win that game. And you know what? He had no teeth with the referees last night. Like, he had no saying. There was a play near the end of the game, which was actually very disputable, that went for the Raptors, and he just sat there and took it. He didn't make a fuss, or he didn't say anything. So I'm not impressed with their coach. I think their coach is very weak and not very good, to be honest. I mean, they haven't won a preseason game yet. He's a rookie coach. He's coming into the season, and they're going to have trouble at the coaching position, Washington. And then the other problem they got is they've got all these different guys from different teams. They're kind of like cast-offs from different teams, like Harrell and KCP and Dinwiddie. And, these guys are all cast-offs from other teams where they didn't really fit on good teams. So now they're all kind of like on the team of misfit players. And, Harrell had a good game last night. He was dominant, but, he was garbage too, in a way. Like, he didn't get any other stats other than scoring those points. Yeah, he made all of his shots, 7 for 9, something like that. But he only had 2 rebounds. I don't understand how a man that big and playing so big on the court had no rebounds. So he was a very empty stat line by Harrell, a very empty threat of winning this game by him. He was kind of like just out, yeah, I'm good, see what I can do. But, their team they're not together. The team is not together. And Kuzma, he was lucky on a lot of his shots, and this was his first good game for the Wizards. So it's a weird mix. And what I think is going to happen with this team and their personalities, partly because of Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's been on Wizards forever, and he's jaded. He's jaded. Like, you can tell he's not motivated, or he's not into it like a real vet should be. Like, he wasn't leading his team last night. He was dogging it. And I don't know if Scotty Barnes is just that good of a defender that he can say he shut down Bradley Beal, but Bradley Beal was 1 for 11 last night. He didn't do nothing. I mean, he had some good side stats with rebounds and assists, and the Washington announcers will tell you Bradley Beal had a good game last night, but I don't think so. He got shut down, and he didn't look good at all. And the play that I love that Scotty did with Bradley Beal last night was that play where he hit the ball off Bradley out of bounds, and they called out of bounds on Washington. That was such a huge veteran play by our rookie on their best player. And when that happened, Bradley went to the ref and he was like, "What do you mean? What?" He's like, he's the rookie. I'm the vet. You're gonna call it off me? Yeah, because that rookie just vetted you. He did a vet move on you. He tapped the ball off you to go out of bounds, and it's out on you, Bradley Beal. Because honestly, this team, what's going to happen is Bradley Beal is going to be a cancer to this team. I hate using that word, but he's going to be a problem to this team. He's going to get disinterested. And I don't think this team has too many shooters and egos, and it's not going to get to fit. There's going to be some friction somewhere on the team between players about playing time, shots, whatever with that team. I can already tell. I'm just looking at that collection of guys. They're not melded together. They don't have any loyalty to each other. They're just out there playing together right now, trying to make it work. And maybe they'll get some good synergy together. But I feel like they're more likely to implode as a team than get success this year. They're more likely to have some sort of problems with conflicts and stuff like that. All right, let's catch up and see what you guys are saying. Paul says, he was doing it with men draped on him. I like the potential of hot shooting. This is Dekker he's talking about. Yes, he had guys right in his face. He got fouled that one time, and he got the free throw, the 4-point play, the old-fashioned way. There was just a couple different things Dekker showed other than shooting last night that made me more comfortable with him being on the roster. Because, for me, coming in, he just was a one-dimensional shooter, but he did some rebounding last night. And like I said, he had that nice little play with Malachi at the top of the key that really jump-started Malachi getting hot. Was that little play that they did at the top of the key. I don't think Malachi, because Malachi wasn't shooting that well during the game for the most part until then. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, his dunk was nasty. See, there you go. He went to the basket and threw it down. That's showing some. We do definitely need, G, you're right. We do definitely need scorers. We're real good on defense, I think, in some ways and different things. But we definitely need these shooters and scorers. And Malachi, that was the game won last night by shooters last night. It was Malachi and Dekker. Boom. Those two won that game last night for us. And it was fun because I was watching the Washington feed, and Drew Gooden's such an idiot. He's such a homer. He bugs me. But they were talking the whole game. Of course, they weren't talking about us good or anything. They were just talking about all the potential for Washington and how good they're going to be. And they really don't understand the Raptors. Like, they thought that OG and Fred were out last night because they were hurt. And they're like, oh, the Raptors are really bad shape if they have so many good players hurt at the beginning of the season. Idiots. Like, do some scouting reports and understand we were resting them for that game. We didn't even need them to beat such a crappy team like Washington. We had our A team out in a lot of ways last night. So it's man. Okay, let's see. I think it's between Dekker and Bonga now, and I picked Dekker. You know what? It's so crazy how quick this changes. Bonga was the flavor of the day yesterday, and now Dekker's the flavor of the day. And I can't say that that's not the wrong thing to do, is switch like this. Because, Bonga started last night, first of all. And he didn't do so well in the starting position. He's part of the reason why Kuzma went off, because he was guarding Kuzma for a good portion of that time when Kuzma started getting going, and he didn't really have the stats for see if he would work well on the starting lineup for some reason, and it didn't work, and it may backfire to help Bonga get on the team, which is really interesting. Yes, the new reports about Siakam. I love that you brought this up, Paul. You guys are like my news sources. I love this. Yes, the reports about Siakam are true. I was predicting this like 10 days ago that Siakam's not going to be gone into November because he looks so good. He looks healthy. So he's been cleared for contact now, finally, on this last home stretch of training camp this week. And he's been playing full tilt, they said already. So his conditioning is there. It's just he's got to hit condition. He's got to hit contact and get some in that. And they're not saying he's going to be back for opening day, but he will be back for November 1st. So, and Boucher's back a lot sooner all of a sudden now, too. It looked like a month, and now it's only 10 days. So everything's coming together quick and good right near the front of the season. And this is good because, like the Washington announcers were saying last night, this preseason shortened compared to historical preseasons. And so many, the way the NBA is now with free agency and teams switching players so much, you need this time to get the team on the same page. Because I'll tell you what, right now, Washington has no team concept right now. They're in really bad shape. As wild and as crazy as we've looked in preseason, at least we don't look as bad as they do. Like, they look really bad. And it makes sense that they lost to Houston. I'm not going to lie. It makes sense that they did. All right, let's see what else is going on over here with you guys. You're saying, okay, yeah, Dekker is the same height as Bonga. Bonga looks taller, but it's deceiving. Let's see. Some of the commentators didn't even know Dragic and Precious were on. Yeah, I know. They really have a blind spot for us. They didn't even know that Dragic and Precious were on our team. And this is the thing. Like, they do this weird thing where they put more weight. I don't know how many wrestling fans I have in here. I'm a huge professional wrestling fan. I know a lot about pro wrestling, also the history. But you know how Vince McMahon at the WWE, when he gets a wrestler from another team, he gets a wrestler from NWA in the history, he erases their memory. Like, he made Dusty Rhodes wear the polka dots and do all this kind of stuff. Well, the NBA American media really makes American players like these two guys who just came from the Miami Heat. They're like our best players to them all of a sudden because they're the most familiar with them and they were on the Heat. So they get more of a premium overall because of that. So it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And he thought, Drew Gooden thinks Kem Birch is from Toronto. He's like, yeah, he's from Toronto. I think. I'm glad you were watching that too, Click 2 a.m., that stream, because wasn't it fun, Click 2 a.m., how during the game they talked so much about how Washington was going to win and how good they looked and all this stupid crap that Drew Gooden and the other announcer were saying. And then by the end of the game, the way they sounded and the way they were calling the game. And this is the stupid thing, they don't even give us any kudos when we do something like that or something interesting. Well, wow, this Toronto team looks like it might be dangerous, or this team looks like they may be pretty good. The only one who said anything good was Isaiah Thomas. And Isaiah Thomas was our first president. And meanwhile, they're all, talking up, tooting the horn of Washington. Well, go ahead and toot Washington's horn. We'll continue to be a submarine-style team, and we'll just come in and boop, boop, torpedoes, blow up your house, because that's what we're going to do on the road. We're going to blow up people's houses on the download. People don't know we're coming. All right, let's see. Dekker and Svi is a must. Yeah, you want those shooters. You want those shooters on this team to make us more of a attack that's threatening, because those shooters will open things up for our drivers, and those drivers will get into the basket and do nasty things. Like, I know I'm all over the place this morning, but that game last night was so much fun. Seriously, Scotty Barnes showed us a little bit of everything. He's a superstar, y'all. Shutting down Beal, that block on Neto, hitting outside shots finally. Like, they weren't as short last night. He was shooting better, but he didn't shoot better overall. And then, like, the passing is still there. The passing is there. Rebounding, the defense. I'm just saying, like, Scotty Barnes is an all-around talent, and he's going to do all-around things for this team, and he wants to do it that way. Like, that's the thing I love about him. He's 10-dimensional, and his drive and his want is what's driving this. So, yeah, Reggie Perry should be in the 905, which is great because he's got good size. And he seems like a good character guy. And, I want everybody to go to 905. I hope that Gillespie finds his way back into 905. But apparently we got to let him out to the wild for a little bit, see if somebody else wants him, and then maybe we can get him back. So we'll see. Yeah, the Wizards were playing their starters, and we were playing like third string, and we were beating their ass. So it's like, I don't understand this. This is why we've got to realize that, like, the NBA media has objectives and they have things that they're trying to accomplish. And if anybody who watched the Washington stream last night can see it just from hearing them, it's all about spin, and they won't talk about us. They won't talk about us. No, they won't. All right, let's see. Yeah, they did have their mouth shut at the end. That was awesome. Bradley Beal, 9 points. But you know what? The 9 points, most of them were at the free throw line. He only made one shot last night. That was really bad. Yeah. Click says, I'm going to say this. Scotty Barnes is going to be what Ben Simmons was supposed to be with a jump shot. He's not afraid to shoot. I love that. You know what? We can compare Scotty Barnes to whoever you want. My favorite comparison of Scotty Barnes is Magic Johnson. I think that he's a Magic Johnson type player on offense. And then on defense, he's going to be a kind of like Kawhi OG kind of defensive player. So think about that. You got Magic Johnson on offense, but then you got like a Kawhi OG level defender at the other end. That's a nasty player right there. You don't want to mess with. And talking about Ben Simmons, guys, apparently I just found out this morning he's one of the unvaccinated guys. So not only is he pulling the stupid shit with Rich Paul on Philadelphia, but now it looks like he's going to come back and play. They're figuring it out. But now they realize this idiot isn't even vaccinated. So it's like, I don't understand how stupid, like Ben Simmons is really dumb, guys. Like, really dumb. If you're going to hold out and do stuff like that, at least make the other shit in your life okay, like vaccinate and make it when you're ready to go. Because now if he's not vaccinated, he has to get the first shot and wait a certain amount of weeks and get the second shot. So let's forget about Ben Simmons for a while. And the news about Kyrie Irving, with what's happening with him, is just great. Like, he's not going to be involved with the team until he's allowed to play fully. This is great. These are all great things for the Raptors. This is all working out for us. I'm not even going to lie. All right, NBA did a poll on their live on Rookie of the Year and left Barnes off. Wow. Oh, these slights. Ooh, they're salty. Seriously, y'all, on the down low, people weren't hyping Scotty Barnes this summer because they know he's this kind of talent, like all-around talent, and they wanted to hide him from us. And Masai and Bobby weren't playing that game. They're like, no, we're too smart. This is the thing. The NBA would try and fool us and mess with us. When we had GMs like Rob Babcock and Brian Colangelo, the NBA would screw us over on the sly and dirty little tricks and deals and stuff like that. Well, Masai and Bobby ain't having it. They're too smart for y'all. You tried to pull a fast one on us and say, no, don't take Scotty Barnes. Well, you know what? We did. And you know what? Now you can turn your PR machine off on him because he's in Toronto and you don't want to push him. But this is the thing. After this year's over, all y'all are going to want Scotty Barnes on your team. There's going to be all this buzz. Scotty Barnes to the Lakers. Scotty Barnes to Miami Heat. Scotty Barnes to the Knicks. We're going to hear all that bullshit for the next couple of years in his rookie contract that y'all are wanting him. That's what we're going to hear. So leave him off all the polls you want for Rookie of the Year. In fact, I don't want him to go for Rookie of the Year. It's such a stupid award anyway. It's a selfish award. He's going to get Team Player of the Year award on our team because he's going to do everything that we need him to do as a glue guy on our team. So it's stupid. It's stupid. They're all going to covet him so much. We're going to hear all this stupid shit about him going to the New York Knicks and all this. Oh, my gosh. You know it. You've heard it. Other players, you've heard it. Yeah, we know what's coming. Okay, let's see what else. Beal 1 for 11. Thank you, Scotty. It was beautiful. Like honestly, on the down low, Scotty only played one half of the game last night, and he did everything in that half. He did everything. He showed me everything. He had a steal. He knocked the ball out on Beal. He blocked Neto. That block on Neto was fun. That's like when you block your little cousin or something. You're out in the driveway messing around at Thanksgiving, and he gets by you, and you're like, oh, you think you got it? That was like that, man. I love that. Neto looks so stupid, man. I don't like Neto. I don't like a lot of their team. I don't like Bertans either. Bertans, he's such a goof. He's a really weird guy. Yeah, Click, you're right. We don't need to listen to the media. The media, even our own media, is kind of messed up because some of the guys on Sportsnet will ask questions to try and get division on the team or like ask really controversial questions. And I don't like that. I don't like the media trying to pry things with the team. But our team's too smart, and they know how to deal with Michael Grange. Oh yeah. Like it was funny. Nick Nurse was talking trash to Michael Grange in the press conference last night. Oh man, they mess with him. They mess with Grange now, which is great because I want them all to. It's really good. Lakers are looking horrific. See, I have tunnel vision, y'all. The only thing I look and care about in all the sports world, I don't even follow the Blue Jays anymore. I don't follow any other NBA teams. I'm just focused solely. Like they say there's Locked On Raptors. I'm locked on Raptors. Yeah, only on Raptors. I don't even go and look at the Lakers ahead of time. I don't go look at any of these teams ahead of time. I look at them before we play them. I see who they have and who's injured, and I see what they did in their last game. But I'm not watching any other games other than the Raptor games. So I'm not getting an eyeball test on a lot of them. So I do have blind spots in that way. But part of it is that I don't get into the hype of everything else. I take it one step at a time with our team and see where we're at against what's coming at us. Because you can get too heady to go try and get in depth on everything. But I love to hear that the Lakers are looking horrific. I love that because LeBron James has always had a master plan. He's always got a master plan. And, I love it when he does not succeed, especially when he has all the power and the ways to get guys on his team and stuff like that. And that team is really old. That's the thing about that team. The Lakers are a very old team. How are they going to look by the time we get around springtime? Like, who's going to be injured? Who's going to be playing for them at that time? And how much controversy and drama will there be by the time we get there with LeBron and different people on that team? Russ is a cantankerous sort also at times and stuff like that. And you just got a really weird mix on that team. So let's see. Paul B., this was the Wizards' revenge game from last season. Well, you know what? I think we should just take revenge on them all the time. Seriously. Because, I don't like anybody in the East. I'm sorry. You can't be a Boston fan and a Raptors fan. I'm sorry. You can't. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow, actually. I'm going to do my video on fan allegiance and what it means to be like a true diehard Raptor fan. You can't have allegiances to certain things also. and be a true Raptor fan. Like you all right, you can have LeBron James as your favorite player and think he's the greatest player of all time, but you cannot root for him when we play him. You cannot do that. So you got to really we got to figure out who's really with us, because some people split off from us when you make them choose. They do. What you make somebody choose between the Leafs and the Raptors and see what they say at that point, because that's another one. You can't be a Leaf fan first and then a Raptor fan. You can't. And I'll explain all the reasons why tomorrow, because it has to do with how you are as a fan and how you view the team. So, okay, let's see. We're going to be fully healthy by the beginning of November. Yes, it does look that way. And the NBA should be scared. They really should be scared, because we're showing really dangerous, nasty things already as far as like potential. And we're only going to hone it and get better. And we haven't had Pascal. He's our best scorer and one of our best players. And Boucher, we don't know anything about this team until we see Boucher and Siakam with all these guys too. I mean, just think about it. It's going to be nasty. Our starting lineup should always be Fred plus 4 tall guys. And like I said, I don't care who they are. Mahalik could be one of them. Yes, Trent can be one of them, but Goran can't. Goran can't be one of the starters. Fred has to start with 4 big guys. And I don't care which 4 they are. They could be Banton. They all have to be at least 6'7". 6'7" and up. And then other short guys can be backup guards. That's it. But no Dragic in the starting lineup. And you know what? I was going to say Dragic can't be in the rotation either. But last night he did enough for me to be like, okay, he can be a backup guard or something like that. And he can get regular minutes. But I don't want him to play more than 10, 15 minutes a game. He should not be playing more than that, because I don't want him taking time away. I don't want him John Walling our team. You know, John Wall's not John Walling the Rockets. They're holding him off of him. Don't let Dragic do it to us, because he'll be good steadying. Like if we're too erratic and too crazy on the court with a bunch of rookies and too wild, like Delano Banton looked wild last night. Like he was playing like a wild man, falling on the ground, flailing all over the place. But we get too much like that, and we need somebody to calm him down and have a vet presence, then bring in Dragic. But otherwise, I don't want him out there. He's just going to eat up time from our development, and I don't like that. Let's see. We could be healthy. Fun Guy says by December 1st. I say by November something. It's going to be in November. You said November. My bad. Fun Guy hates Boston with a passion. I think we own them this year. I think you're right. I think that this is the thing. The NBA, even on the slide, did this preseason schedule a certain way where we had to play Philly and Boston at home in both those games. They want those games to go to Philly and Boston so they can feel good about those wins, and they got them, and that's fine. But like, we're still fine tuning, and like there's a lot of things we have to go through and figure out, and we might as well lose there then right now when it doesn't count, because next time I'll go to Boston, I want to beat them. I want to beat them. All right, let's see. Houston fans were actually very respectful and called the Raps defense suffocating. This is the thing. We're going to hear nothing about us going in, but a lot of people are going to be very complimentary about us after the game, whether it's Doc Rivers the other night or the Houston fans about how we played their team. Yeah, the secret's going to get out slowly but surely as we go around, for sure. Opening night is going to be a movie. I can't wait. I also can't wait for Open Gym to start so we can get behind. Oh, yeah. I saw the trailer for the new Open Gym season. It's Open Gym season 10, guys. And Scotty Barnes is in the trailer, and he's like, y'all know what it's like. You know what it is. It's Open Gym. He's like, it's Open Gym. You know Open Gym. It's like even Scotty Barnes probably knows Open Gym. But, yeah, it's going to be fun. Especially, I think that Open Gym this year may be a little bit of a comedy show. Like, it always has a different tone. But I think there's going to be some good comedy in Open Gym this year with guys like Scotty on the team. It's going to be good. Click 2 a.m. Would you start Gary? In my opinion, he's been disappointing this preseason. His shot selection isn't great. However, we do need shot creation. All right, Gary Trent Jr. is a controversial Raptor in some ways, because there is a camp that thinks he's hot garbage on Raptor fans, and then there's a camp that is really high on him. I tend to lean on the very high on him camp, because I've seen what he can do in bursts. Like, this is a guy who can fill up the net in like 5 minutes really fast. Like, we saw him in some games last year get 30 points like really quickly and really easily. Like it wasn't even that hard. Like, what was he doing? Like, all of a sudden, whoa, Gary has 30 points because he's just hitting everything. So it's really going to be this kind of thing where I think right now he's got to get his rhythm. He's not really completely on his rhythm with his shot, especially with his three-pointer, because his three-point percentage is horrible in the preseason. But a lot of his mid-range stuff looks good, like his spinning off of guys and getting in traffic and scoring. And you're right. You guys are all right. We really, really do need the scorers this year, because we're going to get into these lulls like we did in the third quarter last night, where we're just not finding the basket. And we're going to need somebody to wake us up out of that from time to time. And Gary Trent Jr. he's our best jump shooter, guys, on the team. Sam Dekker did something last night, but let's not get it twisted. He can't do some of the things that Gary Trent can do with the ball with guys around him on the outside. But once he gets dialed in and actually gets his rhythm right in a way, yes, he's going to be fantastic for us. And he should start. I prefer him at shooting guard starting, personally, just because I like to give him that confidence. And also, you get him in the beginning of the game, we can see if he's going to have a good game or not and get him out early. So if he's shooting really well right at the beginning of the game, let him ride and see if we get to 40 with him, because he can score like 40, 50 points in a game. Like if he gets a chance, he has enough minutes and he's shooting hot enough, he can get 40 to 50 points. So we want to nurture Gary Trent as a scorer for our team. And I like the green light for him. He shot 14 shots last night, only made 4 of them. But you know what? They were good looking shots, most of them. I know that the shot selection, some people are saying, oh, the shot selection. But see, he takes hard shots. And he does a lot of these weird spins around and to get open, or like fakes to just get to step to the side and stuff like that. But this is the thing. He's going to start nailing those shots, and everybody's going to be like, whoa. But we need to watch out, because he's going to go through slumps from time to time, and he's going to be hot garbage on some games. And fans are too quick to jump on him and say, we need to trade him or get him out of the starting lineup or stuff like that. We got to give him some room for error. Him and Fred, those two, and Malachi, they need to get a little room for error with their shots, because they're shooters, and shooters need to shoot. But yes, Gary Trent, there's a reason why we invested money in him and in this contract, is because we know that he can do this and become what we want him to be. He's already shown brilliance and signs of it. I mean, hitting that halftime shot the other night, and he's going to be unstoppable in some ways. Like, people have a really hard time guarding Gary. So I would start him. But if he's cold, if he starts going through a cold spot, or he gets to be more of a prima donna, or too much ego or something, if he's a problem with that, where he's not really taking his position, he's taking his position for granted on the starting lineup, then bench him for sure. But if he's, all the right things, then good. All right. How many points per game should Gary Trent average, or what are your expectations? Like I was just saying, my expectations for him aren't very. I don't care like if he does have a good game or doesn't have a good game, because he's the kind of guy that's like an addition to what we're already doing on top of things. It's kind of like we have a jug and we have to fill the water up to this height. And if Gary's not pouring as much water into the jug on a certain night, that's fine, because other guys will jump in. Like Dekker may come in later in the game and do what Trent was supposed to do for us. So it's that kind of thing. But we want to give Gary the first shot at being the jump shooter scorer for us in the games, because he is actually the most talented and the one that's going to be able to get like really hot, like NBA Jam hot, where the ball is like on fire, that kind of stuff. So Banton is so raw. Like, you know what? His game was so ugly at times. Like, he was all over the court, flailing everywhere and stuff like that. And I thought, man, that guy had to have a bunch of turnovers. But you know what? He only had 1 turnover last night. And get this, guys, all right? This is a big thing. And this is why our rookies are different than any other rookies in the league, and maybe like not really should be totally considered as rookies, because they're making incredible ball handling decisions. Last night, the assist to turnover ratio for Scotty Barnes and turnover, and that's your rookies. And this has been turnovers preseason so far. These games have been turnovers by both teams, getting a bunch of turnovers left and right. But those two guys showed the poise in a wild game where Delano looked like he was wild. They were 12 assists to 1 turnover, the two of them combined. That's amazing. That's insane. Scotty had 7 assists himself. Delano had 5 assists. But for rookies, that is really good. And that bodes well that like maybe we won't have issues so much with them, because they understand how to handle the ball and take care of it, that some teams have with their rookies and young players with turnovers. I don't think we're going to have as bad a problem. I think they're just going to turn over the ball like regular players on the team. So yeah, Boston's our second game after Washington. Oh yeah. I don't like I'm tunnel vision. I'm looking right the next one. Next one's Washington. I don't get ahead, but Boston's coming up. I like that. I like Gary. He learned some bad habits on Portland. I think we need patience. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. This is the thing with Gary Trent Jr. We actually got him on a really good contract. So if something goes sideways with him, we can easily deal him. We can easily deal him. Other teams will want him for that contract, and we can get something really good for him. But I want him. I want him on our team. There's a reason why he's with us and he's on this team, and him and OG are good buddies. And it's a good fit. It's a good fit. So we need to keep him. He needs consistency. If he's not consistent, Nurse might put him on. Exactly. Well, that's the thing. We can make that decision on a time-to-time basis from game to game. Some games he's going to have it. Some games he's not. So it's just going to be like that. Gary Trent Jr. has elite shot creating ability on isolation situations. Just his shots need to drop. Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Click 2 a.m. He gets his rhythm. He starts feeling more comfortable. It's second nature. And he's just putting it up. We know it's going to go in. Because they look good, they're just slightly off. It's just like he's just slightly tinkering with the shot or getting his rhythm. And that's what it looks like to me as far as why he's missing so much right now. Nurse told them to let it fly and then they can work on their flaws. Yeah, that is part of it. Like that's what I've been saying. This week of preseason games has been all about just go out there, have fun, and play wild. And they are not refining everything. Like I think on the 20th, when we see the Raptors open the season at home against the Wizards, we're going to see a very, very established set up defense and offense. Like they're going to be playing something real that they haven't really been doing this preseason. This has kind of been just like throw stuff at the wall and see what works. But this one, when they get Pascal and Boucher back, these guys know our system, how to do it right. We can have a team out there of 5 from last year that know how to do the Raptors championship mentality defense and can teach these young guys. So you get Fred, Gary, Pascal, OG, and Boucher out there. And we got a veteran team out there that can really show them how to do it right, because that's going to be the thing. We're going to have to hold these young guys accountable to learning our system of rotations on defense and doing it right. We're going to look at them and say, "Whoa, you blew your coverage, you blew your assignment," and that may be how they get playing time. You see, they got the free reign to play in the preseason as much as possible, Bant and Barnes, but they may be on leashes during the regular season, depending on how clean they're playing. But these guys play clean naturally, so I don't see them getting yanked for making too many rookie mistakes, because they're playing smart already. They're not making rookie mistakes. Let's see. Banton's handles need to develop. Watson is helping a lot with it. I love that Earl Watson's on this team. I mean, he's just a cool dude. I remember him as a player and the way he used to play and his mentality. He does a lot with not much. He wasn't a super talented guy, and he did really well in the NBA considering that. And I just love former players being coaches on our team. Adrian Griffin wasn't enough. We needed another guy like Earl Watson, especially a point guard with these big guys, because he's really going to help Barnes, Banton, and Johnson and these guys with playmaking decisions and stuff like that on the court. It's going to be really I love the addition of Watson. That on the download is a really big change for the Raptors. Our rookies are the greatest player from Japan, the greatest player in Egypt, one of the top players from Germany. Yes, of always, Toronto, the international team, catering to our international city and us being the international team of the NBA. Sometimes for a while I thought the NBA was funneling international players to us because they were trying to build that up. And yeah, it was good actually. Let's see, Moses Moody. I'm not familiar with that player. I really don't scout college or anything like that. I didn't really know a whole lot about Scotty Barnes, even though he went to my alma mater. I went to Florida State, and I stopped paying attention to them. And so I was really surprised when I saw, freshman from Florida State, and came off the bench and did all this and this and this. I'm like, well, hey, he's one of my alumni with me. So I'm I'm on board with this. But I don't know anything about Moses Moody. I'm sorry. It's like I said, I don't speculate on getting players. It's until they get on the ground. I'll check them out when we get them, and I'll really look at them then. But there's just too much to look at. But it sounds like a good name. Let's see. Pascal and Barnes can coexist together. Yeah, there's a little bit of worry for me because there are so many cooks in the kitchen on our team. But we're really lucky that we have a team first mentality. And it permeates the roster from the top to the bottom. Like Fred, OG, Pascal, and Chris, these are team first guys already established because they realize how it works and how to win a championship that way. But then you've got these young guys coming in. Scotty is a team guy. He's super unselfish. Delano, same thing. So I don't think this is going to be an issue. I think everybody will be able to coexist because they really buy into the team mentality that it's us. It's not me. It's us. And that's really important in today's NBA. They were talking about that for Washington last night in the broadcast. They were like, oh, all the guys are going to have to play together and think of themselves as a team and together and stuff like that because it may be a real problem for them. You know, at some point, Dimwitty and KCP and Beal and all those shooters are going to be arguing about who should be taking the last shot. You know, it's going to be stuff like that, guys. Okay, Quiet Leopard, good morning. Good to see you. Why is it that Raptors insist with small ball? Talking about the center position. I think it's deceiving to think that we play small ball. I don't think it's like Houston and their old brand of small ball that kind of really started the whole thing. Because of our length overall, that accumulation really adds up to a center. And I think Kim Birch is a legit starting center, guys. This is an area I know we're going to hear a lot of different things from different people, but I want Birch to start normally and regularly because he is the best at establishing the down low for us. He's the best at getting position against bigger centers and handling them. He's the best at getting rebounds and protecting the paint as a starting center. And with him in the lineup, he sets that right from the start of the game. And he did that for us halfway through the season last year when he came to Toronto. And we didn't have that all year last year. So we realized what we miss when we play without a center. So this is really important that I think that Birch plays starts. And you know, Precious is good too. Precious could start at power forward, you know, or something. They'll figure it out. I think it's going to be, he's going to try different combinations, and whichever one really works, he's going to go with. But I think Birch should start. And he is a real center, guys. He's big enough to handle guys like Jokic and stuff like that. He needs a little bit of help, like just to come and double at times, but we're going to be okay. We're going to be okay with this. I know that we've looked bad against Embiid and, you know, the guy last night, Gafford, he was just killing us. You know, Drummond in that one game. You know, I think that what it is Nick Nurse is willing to concede, allowing a big guy to tear us up like that, but realizing that it's such a slow half court kind of thing to have a 14 point 20 rebound guy like Drummond, that it takes away from the other team's game in some ways. To say, okay, you can have that, but you ain't gonna have kind of mentality with that, because that could be an Achilles heel for us this year. You're right, but when has Jokic ever really killed us, like on a major level? Like, when have you ever remembered a game where Jokic just destroyed us? I don't remember games like that. I don't remember any games where Embiid just destroyed us. Like, seriously, when Embiid can't usually plays Toronto, we kill him. He doesn't. There's games where he didn't score anything. So I wouldn't worry about the center thing too much. And I'm definitely not call what we're doing small ball, because if anything is long ball, because we're going to be coming at them at long at all positions. And that's part of why we won last night, was because our talent at a certain point overtook them and came back at them last night, because they had a better team in some ways, because they had their starters playing. So let's see, where are we now? Fred won't let Barnes and Pascal not coexist. Exactly. I mean, I don't think that's the same thing with Nick Nurse. He won't allow this kind of stuff going on. The leaders won't allow this stuff to go on. This is the thing. Everybody's out in the open and talking about things, and they're together. That's what a team's supposed to be. And that's what I love about the Toronto Raptors, is it really is a us mentality. And I think it's even really cool that, you know, we have Yuta on the team, because he comes from a country like that. So we even have a resource on the team, like, that's kind of like, this is our us mentality in Japan. This is how we do it. So we got a guy who can tell us, you know, he's really good with that kind of stuff, I'm sure. Teaching humility and putting the collective above oneself. This is deep stuff. Like, you got to think about this maybe sometimes in your own personal life, about, like, is it me, or is it us? You know, anyway. Let's see. Kenny, thanks for joining us. If we've seen Cam, Fredgy G, and Precious, surprise the new guy looking the best. Precious is really good, but he's a phenomenal talent. Like, this is a thing, man. They're not talking about us. They don't realize that we just got like 3 premium players added to our team, like upgraded on our talent. Our talent level just shot way up this summer. So they're going to recognize and see it soon. But Kem had COVID. He hasn't got his legs under him yet, and we haven't seen Boucher yet. And we cut Freddie this morning. Freddie's got cut this morning, and Reggie Perry also. So it's going to be Kem, Precious, and Boucher helping on the side. And, that's going to be our centers. If OG keeps playing the way he has, we're in for a great season. Yes, he's been very consistent. And, we missed him in some ways last night. I wanted to see that test, though, without OG and Fred, and see how we did with leadership without those 2 guys and Pascal. And we did okay. I mean, Gordon was adequate. Gordon was adequate. He scored enough for us in times when we needed him too early. And his 3-point shot was going down last night, which was really good to see. Because I was kind of getting worried about him, like that he had kind of like, maybe he's too old to play in this league. Like we don't know. All right, let's see what else. Precious has been amazing. Banton had Christian Wood on lockdown, though. So Banton for center. Banton, like I said, every time I see him play, I get more and more impressed with him. Last night, not so much, just because, the thing I was impressed with him about last night was that he looked like he was playing so ugly last night, but then his stat line looked really good after the game. He didn't get a lot of stats, but he was a part of the team that came back and won. And that kind of like facilitating Dekker and Flynn at that point in the second half was a big part of them coming back, because he knew to get out of the way or help them get the ball to get to that spot. So he was a part of that. So I love Banton. I'm more and more I love him. I was like all about Barnes, but I'm about both of them now, because they're really, if there's one thing we can take from this preseason, we're never going to have a definite starting lineup. It's going to be constantly changing due to our versatility. Everyone will give yeah, that's probably true. I did a video earlier about a month ago, talking about hoping how the Raptors could have a consistency with their starting lineup, because I see it as a benchmark or a symbol of a team being healthy and strong and playing well, that they haven't had any kind of like to change guys in and out. Like if you think about the old Bulls teams, there were like 5 starters started 82 games. It was like John Paxson, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, Bill Cartwright every night for 82 games. And I want that. I think that's ideal, but it may be not realistic in COVID world, because now Al Horford has COVID. We just saw Al Horford. He has COVID now too. So the Celtics have 2 players with COVID now, Jaylen Brown and Al Horford. And we just had our starting center come back from COVID. So this is probably true, that the starting lineup is going to be very fluid, and it may be matchup dependent, or just who's playing well, like coming in and out. Like Nick Nurse may see somebody in practice do something crazy, and you like all of a sudden we see him in the starting lineup and be like, whoa, why is he starting? And it may be that they're just hot behind the scenes. We didn't even realize it. So let's see. Embiid. I think Marc Gasol ruined Embiid against us, really seriously. Media sees Precious as a 5-point per game backup center, and we see him for a 20-point mobile everything player that he is. Yes. This is the thing, man. The NBA, in some ways, they shoot themselves in their foot when it comes to the Raptors, because they underestimate us so much, so often, so regularly. It's like, you know what this is like, guys? This is like Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football. We're holding the football. We're Lucy. Okay, Charlie Brown, come kick the football and see if you think that that's true, what you think about the Raptors again. Yank. That's what this is. We're Lucy with the football, and they're Charlie Brown trying to kick it. And when they come to kick it, they realize it's gone already, because they're wrong. They're wrong. Every year this happens. They underpredict us. They underestimate us. They put us low on the rankings. They say that our guys are going to do this, do that. They don't know. They're stupid. They don't know. And that's a huge advantage for us. And like we're like a shark underwater. They don't know when we're coming and getting them. And they don't know which player is going to come and get them either. Last night it was Sam Dekker and Malachi Flynn. They didn't know which they didn't know where it was coming up out of the water. It was Dekker and Flynn. They didn't know. It could have been anybody. But they don't know. That's the thing. I love that because we're not going to be pigeonholed or lose something because we lose Pascal Siakam. If we don't have Pascal Siakam, we're fine. If other teams, like if they lose Kevin Durant, they're in trouble. That's the thing. That's the difference between us and other Eastern teams. We're going to lose guys. They're going to lose guys, and we're going to win the war of attrition because they're not stacked like us. They're not. They just aren't. They're too top heavy. So, all right, let's see. I want to see Boucher and Banton playing at the same time. Good luck hitting a three on us. Yeah, and I'm glad you pointed this out, Kenny, because Banton had one of those 3-point blocks last night in the corner. If you guys were watching carefully, he had one of those run out. That's what I was saying. We have a couple of guys that are going to do what Boucher has been doing the last couple of years on the 3-point line with blocks. These running out and blocking guys. They didn't even think they were going to get blocked. I love that. The ball goes into the crowd, and they thought they were shooting a three. It's just so demoralizing to the shooter. It just makes them think twice about even trying to shoot again from that corner. And I'll tell you, Bertans kept getting that shot open last night, and that was pissing me off. And, we should have been getting over there and blocking him. But Boucher being in the game like that, Banton can do it. Barnes can do it. Achua can do it also. So we've got like 4 or 5 guys that can do that run out block three at this point. It's just going to be nasty, guys. Nobody's going to want to play us. Nobody's going to want to play us. All right, I'm going to do a few more. We got about 10 minutes. I'm not going to do more than an hour, guys, because I feel like it's too long for people to watch. Although, I don't know. Maybe it's interesting. Let's see. Nurse not playing OG and Fred was smart. Yeah. Load management. I don't even think they went on the trip, y'all. I think that Fred and OG got to hang out in Toronto this whole time and just stayed here because I didn't see them anywhere down there in Washington last night. Nope. So you give your vets a break and say, hey, you don't even have to go to the States. That's. All right, let's see. Goran said he's not taking preseason seriously. When the games start to count, he will lock in. Yeah, I heard him say that in the interview last night. I don't like that kind of mentality. I think that's what LeBron does. LeBron doesn't really try all season, and then he tries in the playoffs. And I think that the teams that try and do that are destined to fail because they haven't built up the rep and the muscle memory and the consistency of trying. And you have to go all out all the time. You can't be half-assed half the time. I understand Fred said he's doing light workout and stuff like that. I understand that. But Goran's trying to get rotational time on this team. He's fighting for some things right now that Fred VanVleet isn't. So he maybe should take it a little more seriously because I think that he's lost the starting spot and he may be losing a rotational spot if he doesn't kick in and start playing full out. So I don't like the arrogance of what he said in that. He should be playing his ass off like the other guys because he's not guaranteed anything on this team. No, he's not. Banton has really surprised me. One of the knocks on him was he was too skinny, need to fill out. You know what? Even though he looks skinny, did the eye test, he's holding his own down low. Like he's getting rebounds. Him and Champagny. Oh my gosh. Now Champagny didn't really shoot well or do much, but him and Champagny had that little Champagny cuts the baseline, and Banton likes to do this between the legs or bounce pass to him. They did it once and it worked. They did it a second time and it didn't work. But one thing I noticed about Champagny is he's like Dennis Rodman with his rebounding, guys. He went to the Dennis Rodman school of rebounding. He's watching the ball trajectory and getting the right spot. And he also hangs out right underneath the basket to the side, and he steals a bunch of rebounds that way. That's all how the Worm used to do it back in the day. So Champagny's reminding me of Dennis Rodman with his rebounding. It's a little bit of strength and timing is what he's doing. It's in how he's getting these rebounds with what he shouldn't be getting. And our offensive rebounds were amazing last night, guys. We got way more offensive rebounds than Washington, and that was a big part of why we won too. Let's see. Paul B. Lucy in the 6 with championships. Lucy with the football. Oh yeah. Yeah, totally. I think it's a good analogy for us with the media. Precious jump shot is underrated. I love that he shoots the 3. I think all these guys are shooting threes now. Kem Birch is shooting 3. None of our guys don't shoot the 3 at this point. I think every single player on the Raptors can hit a 3 at somewhat. Barnes' shot mechanics looked way better in this one. Like even from the last one, he was shooting short Monday night, and last night he was getting the basket better last night. Yes. Barnes is going to get better and better. It's nasty. It's going to be so nasty. I mean, he did a little bit of everything last night. He really did. If you go back and replay the first half of the game last night, you'll see him do each stat category at some point: a steal, a block, assist, rebound, long shot, dunk, bouncing the ball off Bradley Beal to go out of bounds, all that. So Bradley was mad about that. He's like, hey, I'm the vet. He's the rook. And they were like, no. It's out on you, Bradley. Oh, that was so good. Yes, Barnes was guarding Bradley for the majority of the first half. Yes. And they did play him. They didn't play Bradley that much in the second half. Not much. Yeah, we some exceptions to the rule. We load manage Kawhi all the way to the chip. Yeah, load management is good in some ways, and it's different than not playing all out. Like if you're in the game, play all out. But if you're gonna have to take a game off because we want to rest you near the end of the season, like if Fred's like needs some rest games to get ready for the playoffs, yeah, load management is great. But the amount of load management that Kawhi was doing and the reasons was kind of messed up. And, I like Kawhi. I'm glad he came here and was a mercenary and won a championship with us, but he's not one of my favorite Raptors. And I think that people overvalue him in some ways for what he did for our team in that championship. That it wasn't just solely Kawhi. I mean, sure, he was our best player and biggest scorer, but you got to give a lot of credit to the rest of the guys on the team. And I think that the NBA and even us, Toronto Raptor fans, we get a little short-sighted and say, oh, we won a championship because of Kawhi. But it's not totally true. Kawhi won a championship because of us. That's more true to say. Let's see. Yeah, we got about 5 more minutes, and I'm going to go off here. True facts. Banton and Penny Pappy have good chemistry. Who's Penny Pappy? That bounce. Penny Champagne. Penny Pappy. I thought this was like a relative of Drake or something. Penny Pappy. Yeah, they have good chemistry. I think there's a lot of good chemistry all around on the team, just in general, and that's really good. Part of it is that if everybody likes everybody and it's getting along and having a good vibe and having fun, it's easy to build that. That's why I think Washington may be in trouble. I don't know if they'll have that kind of vibe between each other because there's a little bit of like, mine, me with them. Even if the Raps make through the play-in, I think they'll be a threat to compete in the finals. Man, let's not aim for the play-in, guys. We're going to be I can't say this enough. We're going to be a top 4 Eastern team, guys. We're going to be. There's going to be too many of the other teams are going to have problems and stumble along the way. They're going to falter. They're going to stumble and falter along the way this season. We're not. We're going to persevere and go through everything. If we can get through a season like last year, the way we did, we can get through this season better than ever, especially with us being there for them again this year. Like really seriously, everybody listen to me. I said it last night. I'll say it again. When we go to these games, if you're lucky to go to games this year, to Raptor games, you got to be loud the whole time. Just defense every time the other team is touching the ball. We've got to do that. We got to do our part because we can have a big difference this season for the Raptors and how they do at home. Last year, they didn't have any home court. So we got to make up for it double time this year. And that's us. That's on us. We got work to do, just like Champagne and Barnes and Banton. We got work to do, just like them. So let's see. Thanks, Ty T. You got to go to work, but yeah, tune in. I'm gonna do this every day live. So if you guys want to interact with me just on current Raptors subjects day to day, I will talk. We can talk like this every single day. Live conferences, probably around like 9 or 10, 8 o'clock in the morning. It'll always be between 8 and 11, probably for the most part. So if you want to look out for me, please like, subscribe, comment. I will be on here. We'll see Raptor Freak Live every morning, talking about this stuff because I love this interaction and you guys are teaching me stuff too. That's the thing is we're a community. We teach each other. You teach me some, I teach you some. We share knowledge. We become the smartest fan base in the NBA. Let's see. All right. Champagne. Yeah, Champagne. Yeah, it's a Penny Pappy. Okay. Gonna try catching a game in December because I live in Montreal. Anyways, got to go to class. Have a good day. Good job. Yeah, I'm gonna go too, guys. Really appreciate all the interaction. Let me just see if I missed anything on my list. I talked about how Wes Unsel's a garbage coach. I talked about, yeah, I don't know if it's going to be Bonga. This will be the next couple of days. We're going to see what happens with this roster spot. We already know that Gillespie and Perry are out. They got cut this morning. And it's really Wainwright, Bonga, and Dekker that we got to figure out. Utah's pretty sure to be on the team. And, overall with Washington scouting for the first game of the season, I'm not worried about this team. Like I said, they got a lot more to get together than we do. Because, not only do they have to get their players to get together, these guys don't even have any sense of, an offensive identity or any kind of defensive identity either. They've got to figure all that out. And I don't know if they'll get it done in time or any kind of way. So it is what it is. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Raptor Freak. Just win, baby. For the next week or so, since there's no games and stuff like that, I'll be doing daily videos just on subjects setting up for the season. Tomorrow I'll be talking about the hierarchy of Raptors fans and the differences in Raptor fandom. And how much are you in? Are you all in as a Raptor fan, or are you just a little in? Are you one of these people that come around and hang out with us when we're doing well? Bandwagoner? I don't mind. I love bandwagoners. You're like the reinforcements. You come and jump on the tank with us when we're going into war, and we look even more impressive. So I love bandwagon fans too. I'm not down on them because they're real. I'm down on Raptor fans who think they're Raptor fans, but they're actually very toxic. It's like being in a toxic relationship. They're not really for the team in some ways, but they say they are. It's really tricky. Anyway, y'all, thanks for watching. Y'all have a good day in class, at work, all the different stuff, and just have a great Wednesday. I appreciate y'all. Be proud to be Raptors. Just win, baby. We're gonna win games this year. Believe. We're gonna get past the play-in. Don't aim that low. We're gonna do better than that. Seriously, trust me.